One, of course, Feliz. I think that was a good ban, but Junkrat early pickup by GLuck actually was a very good idea.
Well, now looking for what the Alexstrasza banned already, so that was kind of the crux of what I was looking at for this map pick. But Sonya is available, and that's something that could be the X factor here for Feliz, because they didn't pick this map thinking there's no way they ban Alexstrasza. They know that the ban of Alexstrasza leaves other heroes open, and Sonya is one of said heroes. Hanaten has played great Sonya in the past.
I have to think about Maiev as well, though. Which one do you leave open? Sonya, the less meta one, or Maiev that may destroy the entire team?
I think you definitely ban Maiev here.
Because by percentage, of course, Maiev a lot more chance of getting picked up. Yes. And that's also a reason why we see Sonya, because Maiev is banned, when everything else is just standard, and when you don't need as much peeling for the back line, when they can escape alone, like Junkrat, add in an extra damage.
So this is going to be, I think, probably a safe Deckard opening. Although when Overlord is smiling like this, you never know. But yeah, it is going to be.
He was just really happy to play on Hanzo. Yeah. Yes. Do I get the first pick Hanzo? Yes.
One of Hanzo's weaker maps for sure, but can be quite effective with AoE stuns on the shrine.
No, I don't think so. I think Hanzo's pretty strong on this map.
Yeah, I mean, he's strong on every map, but I think this is one of his weaker ones. This is not the one where you think, okay, I gotta worry about Hanzo first pick. Deckard gets given to the other side. As a result, they had to take the different support here because of the Alex ban. And with Alexstrasza banned, you knew that this was going to be a strong possibility you'd get control of Deckard Cain. So Feliz's map pick here.
White main?
I think it's a bit early for that.
If not, Feliz can ban it. Oh, there's that Phoenix potential as well for GLuck.
Okay, well that's not normal.
Looking at the face,
yeah,
I am seeing like I thought I was playing tank. Are you playing tank? Wait.
Yeah. Who was that? That was I think that was Roxer actually. I think Roxer was like, whoa, what did you just lock in?
Like
I actually don't even know if this is actually correct or if this is a mistake. Well,
I thought you were playing tank. Oh no, you didn't type in chat fast enough. I couldn't find the hero.
I was gonna say, now you gotta ban White Main, right? Because with two tanks like this, it's insane what she could do. No, it's actually KCB who's freaking out. I haven't gotten to learn all the faces of GLuck on the new roster perfectly yet, but they never played in any televised matches until this season. They're all rookies. Feliz is laughing at this. Percentage-based damage is what you want now. Leoric's the perfect choice. Malthael also a great choice.
Tychus Odin pretty good on the map too.
Yeah, they're gonna take Malthael and the Thrall for, you know, kind of disengaged potential against a Nubrock since Garrosh is banned. Garrosh is ideal.
I guess Dave really choked OJ out of his comfort zone, I guess.
Yeah.
Diablo gone, Garrosh, and Uberang Murdin gone. So what's he gonna do, Johanna?
Well, given the draft, I think Johanna's a decent pick, but I also think that they might be able to go with something even crazier. Like, I think they might even be able to go with Leoric as main tank here. I think it's a pretty reasonable idea. I'm trying to think of other tanks that have percentage-based damage. There's not really any that come to mind at the moment.
Or Irel main tank has been done a few times.
Yeah, that's also a good pick.
Because they still do need some extra healing.
Or
just Blaze.
They need hard engage onto Hammer. So ETC is going to be what they go for. This is probably going to be a stage type game, I think. You need to find a way to get on top of Overlord. And if Mycen and Overlord are given too much opportunity to poke you down, you're going to have a really bad time. Deckard Cain and Aimer are going to have issues getting into position. And Malthael may even look to Tormented Souls here, actually. It's a rough game, you know? This is a map where if you could have had your way, you might have actually wanted an Uther if you could have known that they were going to go for this. And I guess this is going to be there's no solo laner. There's no solo laner with this comp. You have a Muradin slash a Nubarak rotating between top and bottom or whatever the open lanes are, and it's a 4-man push with Hammer elsewhere. Could be Hanzo also who's rotating between the lanes, but you do not have a traditional solo laner with this draft.
Well, you can kind of have Muradin going around. Not as fast as well. But I guess this is... They picked up 2 tanks to peel for Hammer.
So I think this is just going to be Hammer trying to shove a lane. Back up damage, obviously, coming through from Myson on the Hanzo, and then could be Myson who rotates to clear waves that are on the other lanes. Could also be Muradin, like you said. Those are the most likely options. A Nubarak solo lane is like the worst thing ever. You cannot properly solo lane with Muradin because he will run out of mana. So there's not to mention that he's just bad in all solo lane situations. This is going to be the level 1 fight where KCB is looking for that hopeful engage. He hasn't been spot okay, he just did get seen. Oh, he didn't actually. He's still actually hidden. They don't know where he is.
OJ?
No, KCB.
Well, now they do.
Yeah, now they know, of course. Muradin is going to solo lane against Malthael. But it's not really a solo lane. What he's going to try to do is clear this wave, then clear mid. While they push 4-man with Hammer. But...
Okay, what do you... But Wolf, what do you think about the ETC pick here? Like pre-10, I know they want to possibly control the macro, but when there's siege tank on that siege mode pushing with the peel of his allies, can he really go in? Can anyone really go in and harass?
Just depends on how aggressively GLuck pushes, because if they continue to aggressively push like this, absolutely he can. He's, I think, the perfect pick here. He's so good in the late game, so good in this early game, and GLuck is able to do very little so far with this 4-man. Look at the experience. Ideally, they'd like to be further ahead. Look at the top lane, as right now up there, Roxer is trying his best. Or actually, Roxer's playing support in this game, so never mind. I guess that's... Wait, who's playing Muradin in this case? I guess Asgard, because he's soul laning?
Yes, and
okay.
because KCB used to be tanked few times, especially on Nubarak, I think they made that role swap because of that reason.
I just noticed that. But anyway, he cannot, if he's dealing with Hanatan's Malthael in the top lane, then he cannot actually accomplish anything. I wish we could actually get that view on screen at some point, and you guys could watch it on the minimap, or you could watch it on the first persons, but look at the minimap right now, and it tells the tale of like how horrible it feels to be Asgard right now. Like, he is up there just having to sit and soak, and then he leaves. Like, see, look at him just watching on the meme. He's like, I leave? No, they're going to do too much damage to cannon towers.
That's okay, because Overlord has been doing siege damage, direct siege damage on the bottom lane. So as a trade, I think it's actually a win for GLuck, because OJ, with the ETC, not really getting the early game value, because I think ETC right now, without Irel, without Blaze, is actually really weak. Really, really weak that he can, if he gets caught, he's a tank where he will be just deleted.
Yeah, there was a moment where he got a lot of value there because Feliz decided to commit to the camp, something that GLuck did not do. That could be a pretty big factor as to how this next Shrine fight goes, because that camp is going to really, the longer this fight goes, start to have a big impact. Let's see how this comp fights. Hammer protected in the back here by this double front line like you were mentioning earlier in the draft. This is as old school as it gets. We saw this a lot back in 2015, actually, where this was the strat if you didn't get Johanna Leoric.
Focus on the KCB. Nubarak gets healed. He still has Deep Burrow, so he should be okay.
I don't think this is working out for them. This is not going to last much longer. With all the damage coming through from Malthael. Though they don't actually commit into an engage. They don't have 10 yet, so they don't have anything like a Sundering. But they're eventually going to have to.
Yeah, slowly being pressured out by Deckard Sustain. Yeah, Mouth not enough. Focus on to KCB.
They're going to lose the Punisher because they waited too long to do this. And now they're in a really bad spot. They were super indecisive. They had several moments where they could have committed into either trying to kill KCB, which they did at the last moment there, or Overlord.
And this is the best moment for Overlord. I mean, even the Shrine phase, he was just sitting there. But when there's something else pushing for your team, you just have to sit there and do nothing. Marthel maybe looking to harass Hammer a little bit, rotating down.
If you remember back too, you know, to take a flashback to just moments before, that camp that was taken for Feliz destroyed the top wall. We're talking about Asgard's Muradin here trying to delay that, so he's still dealing with it in the top lane. It damaged the top fort. So Feliz, sure, they lost their wall, and they lost the Punisher, but because of that split soak, because they did time that camp correctly, they're actually not that far behind in experience.
Muradin solo lane on top.
It's such an awful feeling, man.
Keeps me wondering if that was a random pick or something. We'll get wars later. Contesting. Great way out for KCB. Not really taking all the aggro, but and surviving. That's what you do as a Nubara.
I was wondering the same thing about the pick when we first saw it in draft, especially given KCB's sudden panicked face. And he's the one who has to play the Nubrak in this case. But how they use the hammer pick on the Shrine, like old school 2015 style, makes me believe this is definitely intentional. I don't know how effective it will be, however, post 10. I mean, Muradin is just going to have a bad time up here, but if you look at the 5 heroes they have, he's really the only option they have as a soul laner. So it feels bad, but they're looking for the bigger picture on the Shrine fights, not for the macro picture in the solo lane. And they've maintained a pretty even game. Problem is that I think they needed more than this, because when Sundering's up, they're not just going to be able to sit pretty like that. If Feliz decides to make a decisive move on the Shrine fight, this will not happen the same way twice.
Yes, and also potential stage dive. I think it's very likely to come. Just diving onto Hammer.
Definitely.
But if Hammer just pops in that thruster and unstoppable, I think that will be the key to the team fight, if he can escape from all that or not.
Okay, KCB is not where he wants to be. It was a very scary moment. With Overlord sieging up, I think everyone was on 2 different pages there. So the Shrine fight will see both teams at level 10. Not going to be a massive lead one way or the other. Not going to be a fight that either of these teams looking like, aha, close the 10 window first. Very classic rotation up from Manubra.
Asgard is basically playing RPG.
Asgard is playing whack-a-mole, but like, it's like the boring version where all the moles are always up.
What?
He's just hitting people with a rubber hammer, and eventually...
You get high score.
Well,
he wishes.
He's not getting any high score this game.
Haymaker. Okay. They want to have some extra peel. It's not...
It's trying to counter the stage dive.
Yeah, it's a peeling Haymaker, not for an engage in this case.
You're absolutely correct.
A little extra damage as well, I guess.
All right, last rites instead of Tormented Souls. I think there's a good argument for both. Stay a while and listen.
Certainly,
and they actually take Napalm for the objective, not for the burst. They're not going to take the VFG. Okay, here we go. MSG is the first target here. Sundering follow-up. They just isolate him out. We didn't even see last rites go off because he died that fast. OJ, if he escapes here, this is a terrible spot for Gluck. The cocoon is what they're trying to base this defense off of, but does get blown up. So it's a 1-for-1.
Let's get the kill, and Tutu gets stunned right in there. Not enough range for Overlord. There, stay a while and listen. They want to change this team fight, but not enough damage follow-up on them.
Yeah. Malthael being gone means they just can't bleed through these tanks. That was the percentage-based damage they needed. If he lived out of the cocoon, this would be a different scenario. But even with 10 and that blow up with the Sundering, the kill on one tank is not enough when there's a second tank to take its place.
Yeah, when Overlord is alive and Myson also Hanzo, they really have to be careful on range. When they want to get in range, they need some tools. They need stage dive, they need Sundering. They can't just dive in.
Well, I feel like I've seen this before. Close Immortal fight, or close Punisher fight, top lane's being pushed. Camp control, Feliz is favored. This time they're going to get the fort. This Punisher is going to the bot lane. There's already, you know, the wall down, so it should be able to also get a fort. It's an Arcane Punisher. KCB's positioning looking for this, but however, OJ gets the double power slide here. They actually kill Hanzo, and this is not looking good for Gluck's chances to continue this fight. They find due to the Arcane Punisher making such an impact in this fight, actually, with all these minions here. And it's a trade. It's a very nice trade for GLuck because this means that they can actually start working on this keep wall. We mentioned it before, the Sergeant Hammer pick does so much more when there's a Punisher to defend it and the double tank line.
And they're soaking up, even though it's very slow wave clear on top. They're not missing anything. So it should be okay. Alonso just came back to soak up for the mid. So they didn't really lose anything. They got the fort, and Thrall takes a longer time to rotate. It's not like you kill an ETC and the stage dive suddenly comes on top of you.
Yeah, they do have stage dive, so taking this camp, for example, without having Hanzo or Muradin here is actually very risky, but Feliz does not scout it. They don't have the vision wave. Look at these well-placed mines as well to get some extra vision before their minions even got there. So they know they're safe, they know they're fine, they see the camp capture, and they're going to be able to take this for free. So GLuck making this hammer pick look really good, but I think at the same time, Feliz needs to be a little bit more decisive in their fights. And Hyperion here is such a staggeringly puzzling pick, because I think you just need that extra damage to kill these tanks. Hyperion damage is not going to be enough. It's just a scattering, smattering of small damage that isn't really as impactful as the Raiders would be.
Yeah, looking for plus siege damage, plus getting the numbers on that shrine. Look at that OJ.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Hanzo arrow does connect.
Yeah, but it was a little bit overzealous, I think. No follow-up damage.
Oh, he does have stage dive. He can just heal himself back up with his E and then come join into team fights.
They're looking for the ceiling well. They've got a lot of poke with mice in here. They have these siege giants. The bottom siege giant's also very frustrating to deal with. That's why ETC goes down bottom specifically, where he will be healing, as you mentioned.
Dude, looking for that angle, Sundering.
He wants the target to be Roxer, but they're not ready yet because the bot wave is still pushing. They want to completely clear that first. Malthael's coming down too. Here's the stage dive, but nobody's here.
Yeah, unstoppable.
Such an easy disengage for GLuck.
And nice cocoon. Sundering just wasted.
What a messy fight that was.
Yeah, Overlord, even though he wasn't in range to do direct damage to Fort, now he can do it because it's so easy. Of course, without all the tools that he was going to be threatened. He positioned himself down there intentionally because he can escape easily if he has everything to dodge with.
Well, this is going to be them forcing GLuck away, but the bot push continues. I think it's probably just one guy left down there because ETC spent so much time clearing that I don't think that's very much left. But Feliz has all the tools, minus, in my opinion, the Raiders, to shut down what GLuck is doing. But their execution of putting them all together has just been so disjointed. The stage dive and the Sundering not paired together, plus the failed power slide there, and all the disengaged after the scroll of ceiling missed. Their best target was going to be the Malfurion, like you pointed out earlier, but they went for a Nubrok instead, and he was just like, I pressed E and I wasn't there anymore, and 5 heroics got wasted on one spot.
And the dude was just angry that he was in the cocoon.
Well, MSG here, or rather Asgard, he's fake MSG today.
Another solo decision Sundering by Tutu. There was no chance of grabbing that kill, so that's wasted.
Close. Not even close, and now Overlord knows that there's no Sundering, so he can just sit here. He's not afraid of anything. Look at OJ's health bar go down. They do commit the arrow. KCB gets blown up by that last rights, but I think GLuck could perhaps change this fight if they commit in. They're just looking for the objective. Stage dive comes in. Nice power slide follow-up. This time, they get the root right afterwards. The sleep onto Overlord, but he does boost away. Dudu's oh so very low. Will heal up with his trait. And welcome to the bottom of HGC Korea.
The jungle, where everything's alive and healthy.
We don't call it that in this game, but we call it the mercenary camp.
Well, more than pick certainly has not been working out for GLuck. If they had something like a Dehaka, it could have been so much better. Haymaker not really being used at all for peeling. Actually, he's the one that falls down without too much of an escape, and really bad wave clear as well.
I think the Muradin's much better than Dehaka for what they're trying to do, but it becomes an issue when the coordination is actually good on the side of Feliz. And Power slide denied this time. Nicely done. Overlord gets out the self-cleanse there. They're going to look for the follow-up fight. Tranquility is used, but...
I'm healing everyone with 100 HP.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. That's going to feel like a
Plus, I'm flying. So that's a little bit cooler.
He's not flying, he's hovering. Or as what Buzz Lightyear would say, falling with style. Okay, well this was a gross overextension. That wasn't the movie I was looking for.
It's actually crazy, the heal band from Emerald plus the Marthdale 7. Negative 100. No healing for that amount, and you actually have to die in this case.
Look at how much damage these last rights are doing, because he's gotten so many kills with them. It's really starting to stack up. Like, for 1 second, I was like, actually, I don't know if that kills him. And then as he was bro charging away, I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure that's the same feeling that KCB had on his Anubrak as he broke away. He was like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Yeah, it's, that was oops. Okay, ping's going down here. Gonna try to look for another kill here. If they can get another kill and then grab this keep, maybe Feliz is able to close the game out right afterwards. GLuck is both throwing some advantages by overextending, but I think also Feliz has finally found their footing in terms of the coordination that's required to get these kills and then follow up on the rest of the fight.
Okay, good focusing on the OJ. You want to do damage onto ETC, because ETC is not as tanky. I'm going to remove that and make sure he goes somewhere else. And he has stage dive, but when he's low, he takes a lot of time. So that's a good way of focusing. And when you have a tank alone, KCB needs to be careful now. Even with Muradin on the side, because Feliz has been pretty good on that focusing.
Well, the next shrine is going to be bot lane. And basically what Feliz decided is, okay, if we control the rotations, they have to come to us, and that's when they're weakest, because Hammer can't just have a setup fight. So they're just trying to roam and steal everything on the map and set up in these brushes. So someone like KCB burrow charges in or tries to check, then boom, they're dead. So Feliz is actually basically playing this perfectly, because what can GLuck do right now? Oh, okay, we push lane, but then if they overextend in lane, then they're going to die. So I think both teams are doing the right thing by just playing passively, but Feliz is winning that because they're closer to 20. And they can actually grab this camp to push the top lane, which is being prepped right now by Hanaten, then look for this fight. They've got 20 seconds to get down there. GLuck does take positional advantage, and they should be able to... The majority of the fight will be fought without 20 still. We're barely in that window.
Even better when they have stage dive ETC. Just soak for 20, come join into fight. In this case, they have the Death God pushing top.
Well, he's
because they have
staying
time
there, yeah. I think that he just wanted to really prep it so they can get that keep in the longer fight.
The maximum prep with the wave and the camps coming right after.
They have 20, in fact. Only 12 of those defenders taken before 20's up.
Bolt. Locked in for OJ. He does not have a mosh pit.
Okay. Sundering, really well executed here. It's going to be a full completion of that quest as Anubrak is taken out. KCB dead. And he's the first target again and again and again with these last rights. Dudu, let's be careful about overextending here, but this should be full control. Remember, that top push is starting to work on the keep now. Another wave of minions soon to join it. Only 2 left. Can they steal the last one? I think so. I think actually Feliz... I thought they were going to chase further and they were going to guarantee this, but they do not. This is such a weird game, GLuck.
And I think OJ used the bolt when he went down. So that's on a cooldown now. Yeah. He does have the stage dive to join, but having the bolt, not having the bolt actually can decide if you can catch the siege tank or not.
Well, Roxer, despite his best efforts, I don't think will necessarily save this keep with another minion wave coming through. I think it may be Dunzo. Okay, more members coming back. So they want to save this keep, but that means the Punisher they get doesn't do anything, so they better save that keep. Okay, they do. It gets, you know, obviously the bot push going and helps finish off that bottom wall. They get 20 with the wave that they're taking in top right now. Well, this push was pretty nice for them as well. Doesn't quite get the fork, but keeping Feliz occupied. We're getting close.
Solely Moradin, every time we get a camera shot, I'm just finding myself a little lost in nowhere and just saying, it is not the first time. This happened once in 2016, I believe, where they just had to have a rotation because of Zarya once, but this is a rare case. And KCB has been dying with last rights all the time. I'm pretty sure the cooldown onto the last right is almost maxed out.
Yeah. I would love to get a check on that. We have no way of knowing that. We don't have observing PCs here to check on, but I would say that you're probably right about that. The only way we could check is if like GLuck opened the Play XP stream and like wait until someone press tab, but we're not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, he's gotten so much value out of it. He's easily gotten 4 kills with it. And GLuck is... They save the keep, so they can play this game again, where they kind of like hide in and hoping. That's why I like to call this style hiding and hoping, because you're like, ooh, we're in real big trouble, but maybe if they just walk into the bush without checking, we're going to be okay. So we're hiding and hoping, but you know, there's no reason for Feliz to take a fight in the brush. And they've been killing KCB so consistently now that they feel comfortable they could take the next Shrine fight. So that's just what they're going to wait for. It looks like, oh, what if you just try to get the top keep, though? And Feliz is like, no, I actually don't care.
Yeah, they actually finally sent Hanzo this time. Yes! I've been waiting for this moment. Because KCB, whenever he's alone, he was getting caught. Why not have Moradin on the side to actually save KCB? Wasn't that the reason? Of course, you want to peel for tank, your hammer, but if KCB is dying, well, you have to switch roles and try to see something else happening. I think this is a much better of a role of distribution in the lanes.
GLuck is literally hoping Feliz tries to go top. And Feliz is like, no. But yeah, I mean, better distribution indeed. Myson's riskier in the top lane because his escape is not consistent while he's pushing, but yeah, I mean, that ends up being you know, a safe-ish push. He gets it pushed to the fort. Now, here's the Shrine fight. This fight decides the game. And GLuck has to have the perfect fight, and they know that. They absolutely know that. With how KCB's been playing, that it's very unlikely, so they're hoping for the best.
Yep, and setting up the top wave, super late. Super late game. For at least they have fort, but it's very damaged, about 80% damage, so it will actually...
It's definitely going down. They can't do anything about it this time.
It's going to be at least the keep or even more if they get multiple kills.
Okay, right now...
Top keep is going down 100%.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's not going to end the core. They just have to play carefully here. Sundering is really good. There's last rights. Goodbye! Asgard is DED dead. And can they win the fight here, or rather, can they win the objective? That's what they're hoping for, but I just don't think so.
Keep down. To get position. KCB, of course, this time without the last right, maybe okay, but no.
And that will be the end of this very long, drawn-out game as Stage Dive comes through to finish it off. Rockstar Dodge is definitely here just trying to buy time. He does not have Ice Block anymore, though, and that's going to be the near full wipe, as Myson will keep his KDA a little bit higher. He'll watch as the core falls.
But he's the only one. Can do a little damage to Aimer, but that's core.
Yep, it's upgraded Hyperion, so this thing's going to go down real fast. Perfect angle to make sure the Yamato cannon fires purely on the core. And Myson's just going to keep his KDA, again, a little bit higher. Feliz going to take a 2-0 lead and match point with this. Long drawn-out game, but at the end of the day, this strategy was figured out a long time ago. The reason why GLuck had so much success in the early game was because Feliz had some pretty poor coordination. But as the game went longer, it got easier and easier, and then even GLuck knew. That's why they were basically hiding in the bush the entire late game going, well, I know we're not going to win this Shrine fight, so I hope they just walk in and die. And Feliz played patiently. It was a risky comp. It's an old school comp, but no longer relevant in 2018. Very outdated.
Haymaker not really coming into sense for peeling. They don't even have to focus on Hammer if they can bring one man down 100%. Either Anubarak, either Moradin. When they have last right, it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, he ends up with 27k at the end. 6 kills. So you have to think probably the majority of those were last right triggers.
Now look at that, more than 3 deaths, Lubarak 4 death. And when there's solid focusing and when you can have just right amount of time, when Dudu has the Sundering, chain up with the power slide, that's more than enough time for the rest of members to just press everything on it.
Yeah, I mean, the only heroes that really got like out-sieged by Murd in the soul lane were like the supports. So, you know, he was just kind of up there. He was like an Abathur hat, you know, getting soak over there. Well, that does our second game. You wanted to see Braxis. We got Infernal Shrines, but we did get the weird comp that you were looking for.
What? Feliz has had a very good idea. We knew that the peeling was coming. Oh, if they want to peel so much, we shouldn't actually go for Hammer. How about we kill the tanks instead, make it 4v5? And before they switched into that mode, they were actually going for tanks.